Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So I'm a little bit sick, so I want to make this video a little bit quicker, but yeah, all that being said, Tesla, if you enjoyed the video, of course, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. Make your own decisions, do your own research. And Tesla looking like it will be closing down just over 2%, putting us at $276.50 per share, which compared to the market itself is, roughly in line, ever so slight underperformers, but roughly in line with the market. Now let's talk about what this all means and what we can expect moving forward. So the most important thing to understand, and I want to actually say something pretty interesting at the end of the video that I recommend you stay tuned for. I'm not even sure how to perceive it. Anyway, moving into, so what we can expect moving forward. So the first and foremost, right, as I said, Tesla is of course at the top of the channel, as is SPY, right? Also at the top of the channel, or at least it was, right? And it's a very peculiar position, right? We have, top of the channel, we have higher highs, we have lower highs on the, RSI. So you have some bearish divergences being set up there as well. And, of course, we had this little situation happen over here where we broke below. Then we had a kind of a similar situation, which we did close the day actually breaking below it as well, which could be, a little bit spooky. But the main thing I'll be paying attention to for now is, of course, if we break below this little trend line right here, you can see that we've started ever since the lows at, around $240. And we've kind of been climbing up staircase wise, right? Once this breaks, that's where my current stop loss is on my shares. I did exit the shares this morning that I was holding at a very small loss. And then I did re-enter them pretty much close to market close. So a little bit higher than what it closed at. And my stop loss is, of course, if it essentially breaks below this trend line. If it does, I'm out, right? Then that's when I think the downtrend will really begin, at least to the gap fill roughly. But if it obviously has one more rally up to about the 280, 282, then of course I'll write that. So that's kind of the one I am playing it right now. But, with that being said, if it does break below this line, I do believe that's when this cool off will once again really continue, and that's when I think we'll come down at the very least to the 265-ish area, if not the gap fill minimum, right? I'll be surprised if we don't go at least to that, if not of course even lower, potentially to the 240s, maybe even finally going all the way to the 220s. Of course, that's yet to be seen. That's just obviously the overall levels. Doesn't mean it has to go to the 220s, but that is a potential level that I will be eyeballing. Depends on how it reacts. We'll see how it reacts at each specific level that I just mentioned. And then from there, we'll make an assessment as to, will it go down even further, or will this probably be the place where maybe it'll consolidate and actually overall start getting a bounce from. So keep that in mind, right? It doesn't mean that it has to from here on out. On top of that, the daily looking, the candle on the daily is, nothing too crazy. I wouldn't put too much weight into it right now. It's, a little bit, yeah, I wouldn't put too much weight into this, honestly. I can't really think too much of this candle right here on the daily. But that's kind of the main thing I'm looking at right now, right? Of course, we have the 21 EMA still well below us, so I'll probably maybe go to somewhere around there, maybe if we, break this trend line that I just talked about. That is a possibility. We're still near the green line of the Bollinger Band. Usually, again, you retrace to roughly around the white line, the median of the Bollinger Band. That is also very common. And the last couple things I want to mention, because I said this video will be shorter, is some potential reversal pattern setting up. So there's something called an island reversal, right? Where you essentially create, you have a gap up, you create, some consolidation, then you have a gap down, and you create this sort of little, almost like an island at the top where it's kind of hovering by itself up there, right? And you have two gaps, right? One that gapped up to start creating the island, and then one that gaps down further, right? So that's kind of what the market is actually doing right now, as you can see. So let's say we go to the 1 hour. This is literally that, right? Where you have the gap up, island, gap down. So if the market come back up to retest this, then in my opinion, it does completely neutralize this island pattern, this island reversal, which is a bearish reversal, right? So keep that in mind. That is, something to consider. But if the market does rally back up, so like, let's say SPY up to like 443, same with QQQ, by the way, exact same situation here, like 370, right? That is, going to neutralize that pattern. But as of right now, that is something to really consider. And Tesla, even though I wouldn't say it has the best looking island, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the ones I just showed you guys on QQQ and SPY. You can argue that this is a little bit of an island. We have a massive gap up, sideways action, then we did gap down. So a little bit of an island situation here is just not as clean in my opinion. But nonetheless, with Tesla, excuse me, and with QQQ and SPY, we are potentially setting up what looks to be a double top, right? We have, a top here, we have a top here. It's not a perfect double top, but, it's pretty damn close to each other on the levels. SPY as well, top, right? QQQ, top, right? So just keep that in mind. If these things get broken, obviously, then naturally these patterns get completely neutralized. But as of right now, they're something that I would heavily consider, but, to really like take a look at, right? You don't want to just completely ignore that and just be like, stocks only go up. You'll definitely want to take these things into consideration, right? On top of that, of course, on the daily, you can see QQQ, SPY, the RSI also setting up a bearish divergences, just as it is on Tesla. Tesla's a little more obvious, actually. It actually came down Oh, sorry, it came below it, right? You know what we had here. We broke below this median line. It came all the way down, came up, actually retested it just the other day, and now we're going back down again. So we'll see what that actually turns into. So bit of an island reversal pattern setting up there as well. And the final thing I want to mention before I do end off this video is going to be something that I don't even know how to perceive. So you guys can let me know in the comments below what you expect of this. Now on Twitter, I do follow this guy called Squawk Square. You guys may have heard of him if you follow Tesla stock. Some people say he's a paper trader, right? It's kind of like a meme account, and he just trades, paper trades and whatnot. So he pretty much talked about how he's buying 1,000 shares at 273. He's pretty much buying like a shit ton of shares pretty much around these rough levels, right? And I kind of made a meme about it because before he actually sold all his shares in the 240s, and then now he's buying in the 270s. I kind of made a meme because when he did sell them, he said, he's not buying until 220s, and then he's now all-inning pretty much at 270s. He's buying like literally thousands of shares. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this specific tweet right here that I made was liked by a particular individual, and I don't know how to perceive it. And it was none other than Franz von Halsen. The literal chief designer of Tesla literally liked my tweet, me making this little meme about him. I don't know what to perceive of that. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Maybe he's trying to say like, yeah, Tesla's a little too elevated here. Maybe he's just laughing and just kind of enjoying the memes and doesn't really mean anything. Like, I don't know what to perceive of that. So you can let me know below what you think about that, because that is definitely something a little bit interesting. Something that, I definitely wouldn't, I don't know, maybe completely ignore, whatever of course it means, right? Whatever it actually, ends up overall meaning for this kind of subject. But that's kind of the main stuff I am overall looking at and have seen so far. The final thing, of course, is going to be the VIX. Now, a lot of people said you can't chart the VIX. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Who knows for sure if you can or cannot chart the VIX, but I am right now charting the VIX. You can sue me if you want. But the way I look at it right now is, of course, the VIX potentially breaking out. It did have a massive rally today, right? The VIX, it went up, I think it was up like 16% at its peak over here. Of course, did neutralize a little bit throughout the day, but it did potentially break out of this little downtrend as well. So, the market potentially setting up these reversal patterns, the VIX potentially breaking out of, a downtrend, if you will, if you can even consider VIX downtrend. Is that like a thing? Like, I don't know, but, technically a downtrend, I guess, right? With the markets again setting up these potential reversal patterns right now, double tops at the top of the channel. Maybe it's too obvious. Maybe maybe it's just this is too obvious and it won't reverse here, right? Maybe everyone is like seeing it right now, and maybe it won't because everyone's seeing it and potentially thinking it's going to happen. Maybe it won't. Who knows for sure? But there are a lot of things sort of aligning for the market, and Tesla, of course, included, because that's just how it works, to potentially have a cool off. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Obviously, no one knows for sure. But again, just things to consider. But as of right now, for short term, especially maybe tomorrow, the first thing I'll be paying attention to on Tesla is whether or not it breaks down below this green line. If it does, I think that cool off will most likely actually begin. If it doesn't, well, that's when I think maybe, we get actually maybe one more bounce, potentially up to the 280s again. And then from there, we'll, of course, see. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. And as usual, I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully I feel better. And the membership, again, down below, $2.99 a month. If you're interested, I share these kind of thoughts intraday as it happens live throughout the markets. But yeah, thanks for watching. And of course, as usual, see you tomorrow. Peace.